So first projection is AP forearm. We're gonna lay the arm flat as possible. We're gonna try to make sure the shoulder is in the same plane, so the patient will have to get a little bit lower. This is the left marker on the lateral side. I would have a sandbag holding the wrist flat as possible. Collimation is from the wrist joint to the elbow joint. Central ray is shooting at the mid forearm. You would tell the patient don't breathe, don't move. You would have shielding for the patient sitting in their lap. And this is my 14 by 17 cassette, and it is 40 SID.
So this is lateral forearm. Like I said before, we will make sure the shoulder is in the same plane, so the patient will have to probably get down a little bit lower. We have shielding. I have rotated my cassette, 14 by 17 cassette. I put my left marker on the anterior side of the collimation. I'm shooting the central ray mid forearm. I'm making sure the hand is in a true lateral position, shoulder down. I would tell the patient don't breathe, don't move. And collimation is from the wrist joint to the elbow joint. And yeah, like I said, I have shielding. So this is AP elbow, and we're gonna make sure the arm is in the same plane as the thing. I put the sandbag on the wrist to keep the arm flat as possible. This is my 10 by 12 cassette. We're shooting directly in the elbow joint, right in the elbow joint, and collimation is mid forearm to mid arm. And this is 40 SID, and this is don't breathe, don't move, and we are shielding. So this is lateral oblique elbow. This is my 10 by 17, 10 by 12 cassette. This is my left marker on the lateral side. For oblique, we take the first two fingers and try to roll them onto the table. And we have an oblique. We are shooting the central ray still at the elbow joint. We're collimating from mid forearm to mid arm, trying to make sure the shoulder is in the same plane. We have shielding, and we tell the patient don't breathe, don't move. So for medial oblique elbow, we're gonna pronate the hand, and that caused the forearm to be in a medial 45 degrees. And I would place the left marker on the lateral side of the collimation. You're collimating from mid forearm to mid arm, shoulder in the same plane. This is my 10 by 12 cassette, and we're shooting the central ray at the elbow joint and shielding, and tell the patient don't breathe, don't move. So this is lateral elbow. So it's 40 SID. I rotated my 10 by 12 cassette. My left my left marker is on the outside in the collimation. We collimate from mid forearm to mid arm, and we're shooting the central ray at the elbow joint. We're trying to make sure our shoulder is in the same plane, so we have to get a little bit lower. Make sure the hand is in a true lateral, and you would tell the patient don't breathe, don't move, and we will have shielding. So this is a special view. This is Jones view. So you want to make sure that the elbow joint is flexed. Try to put this hand on that shoulder. We want the central ray to be about 2 inches above the olecranon process. We're going to collimate mid forearm arm to just in front of the olecranon process. We have our left marker on the lateral side of the collimation. We're at 40 SID. This is my 10 by 12 cassette. We want to make sure the shoulder is in the same plane. You would tell your patient don't breathe, don't move, and you would use shielding. So this is acute flexion position of the ulnar sulcus. We're gonna have the elbow flex and just sitting on our 10 by 12 cassette. We're gonna have our left lateral marker. Central ray is shooting 2 inches above the humerus. And then we're going to be collimating, trying to get a superimposed picture of the humerus and the forearm. and this is at 40 SID on a 10x12 cassette. You'll tell the patient don't breathe, don't move, and you will use shielding. So these are our 2 Holly views. We're gonna do distal humerus. So you put something under the wrist to make sure the hand is in a little bit of flexion. And we're gonna have our left marker. And our cassette is the 10x12 cassette. We're shooting the central ray at the elbow joint and collimating mid-forearm, mid-arm, and we're shooting the central ray, and this is 40 SID. Tell the patient don't breathe, don't move, and we're shielding. And the other one would be to see the proximal ulna and radius. So you would just open it up a little bit, take the sponge down a little bit, and we will shoot the central ray at the elbow joint, collimation, mid-forearm, mid-arm, 40 SID, don't breathe, don't move, and we will use shielding. So for Kyle's view of the radial head, this is my left marker on the lateral side. This is my 8x10 cassette. I'm gonna make sure my arm is laid flat and flexed on an 8x10 cassette. Make sure try to get the shoulder in the same plane. We're collimating mid-forearm to arm. We're shooting the central ray at the radial head at 45 degrees. We'll tell the patient don't breathe, don't move, and we're using shielding for the coronoid process. We're going to be coming with the central ray from the opposite way, shooting out at 45 degrees in the elbow joint, collimation mid-forearm to mid-arm on an 8x10 cassette. Don't breathe, don't move, and shield. Okay, so for this view, you would stand upright. I will be using my 14x17 cassette. My left marker, I would put on the outside. For this one, patient 14x17 cassette, standing by the bucky, you would abduct the hand and externally rotate, collimate from the shoulder joint to the elbow joint. We want the humerus to be shot straight into the central ray, mid-humerus, and we would take that. And then if we want, this is AP humerus. If we want lateral humerus, we put the hand on the hip and internally rotate the shoulder. We would still do the same thing, have the central ray go from shoulder joint to elbow joint. We would put the left marker. We're using our 14x17 cassette, possibly shielding the breast. Left marker, don't breathe, don't move. And we're shooting at mid-humerus. Okay, so for this one, so last one is hitchhiker. I will be laying down, but there's no way I can record that and do this. So we want the elbow abducted, and we're gonna push it back, externally rotate it, and we're gonna give it the hitchhiker thumb with this arm facing your face. Your hand, your palm facing your face. I will be laying down using a 14x17 cassette. I will shield anything that needs to be shielded, possibly breast. Patient will be laying down. I'll be using 14x17. This is at 40 SID. And I would collimate from the shoulder joint to mid-forearm. And I am shooting the central ray at mid-humerus. Laying down. Mid-humerus.